Nice, straight again with another kit review. This one I picked up off Amazon. I was just trawling through Amazon. You know, you get the adverts and things come up. And this came up on, I can't remember who it was now. Operation Block or something like that. It was called. 22 quid for a Tiger with Zimmerit, and it's new moulds, apparently uploaded moulds. Sorry, upgraded moulds. And it's the Pz.Kpfw.VI Tiger 1 Ausf E. So it looks nice artwork. I know we have one problem in the box before we open it, but it's a minor problem really. You know, it's only for river counters to worry about, not me. But I'm going to have a try and do something with it. The artwork's quite nice. I'd say it's an Italeri kit. I don't possess many Italeri kits. I think it's about only my third one I've got. And it's the kit number is 6507, obviously 135 scale. And it's saying figures not included. That's not a problem. So look at the artwork. It looks like the wheels are going to collapse inwards, doesn't it? At that angle. There you go. So on the reverse we just have the dimensions, which is 24.1 centimeters long. See an upgraded moulds, and there's a kit number again. And it's 135 scale. And on the rear, sorry, on the side box, just the usual information about for adults to collect 14 and over. About reading things properly. Nothing else. Photo etch, which was quite a nice surprise when I seen what's in there. Looks like we have all the fenders, the shrouds for the exhausts, obviously the grille covers, and some little straps by looking at that. And a picture of the 5-0s at the back and the jack block. Jack block? Yeah, jack block. And on the other side, you get a couple of choices of variants, I think. So we have the flat Panzer Dunkelwurf 1943, which is there, which is a winter camouflage on it, and then we have the camouflage one which is on the front. Obviously there we have a bit of a history sort of thing of what it's all about. So if you want to pause and read that, presumably most people know about the Tiger. Right, so without further ado, I just want one thing before we go any further. I was on, I think it was Luke's Apps, another YouTuber, you know, really good guy. He mainly works for gamings and things like that, but he has some good ideas as well. And one of them was he bought some cake, you know, the cake stands, you get the pillars for like wedding cakes, so, and he sort of showed how to use them. And I've got an idea for a couple of dioramas in the future with these. I picked these up off eBay, Chinese or Japanese site for 2 quid. 2 quid. And there's 4 of them. Let's go for one first. I'm just going off the topic, but I thought I'd bring them in. I know we have a seam line down there, but the way Luke did it, he got a stone effect with it, so it'll cover most of that up. So I thought, well, that'll work quite nicely. And you can obviously cut them and make them damaged and things like that. But you know, I don't know how much it costs to buy if you just went to a specialist modelling thing. Well, there's different sizes, smaller ones as well. I thought we'll get the large ones, but even though these seam lines there, you can even get them out, they're not a problem. So yeah, I thought for 2 quid I'll give them a go. I'd say they look fine to me. Yeah, so it was 2 quid off eBay. Grecian pillars, and also historically correct if I put them in the North Africa desert, but who's going to tell? Well, somebody probably will, but I don't really care. So I just thought I'd throw that in where we are at the moment. So, right, back to the Tiger. Let's have a look what we've got in this box. At the top we have the instruction kit, which is plain paper, which is quite nice. Bit of history again. Kit number telling you warnings, it's in, you know, telling you 14 and plus. And then we have the sprue map on the first page. So there's quite a bit of plastic in here as well, and a bit on the second page with the photo etch. I'm going to start with the lower hull as normal, adding the front and the top glacis plate, the rear, part of the rear for the return roller at the back. Or is it for the front? For the front, for the cog, for the yeah, for the sprocket on the front. A pretty straightforward build, you know. The wheels, spring arm, so the suspension arms, and then we get to the tracks. This is the problem with the kit, the tracks, which isn't a big problem. I could probably do something with it, but I'll explain as we get to the tracks when we get to them. It's their Lincoln length tracks, fairly straightforward putting together, as we all know. And then we add the tracks, but I wouldn't do the tracks at that point anyhow, so we can forget about that until I get to the plastic. And then we are starting on the upper hull with the hatches and small bit of engine under the under there as well, which is a bit of a bonus. Not much, but there's a little bit of engine there, so we can weather it up and make it look reasonable. We'll have to see what the photo etch is like if you're going to see it underneath first. It isn't the photo etch, it's the actual cover, isn't it? What am I on about? It'd be interesting to see if I can make it, if I could work around having it open or something like that, depending on what the quality is like. And again, when we start the photo etch on the top on the grills, and then we have the side to the tank, which actually got Zimmer on them as well, so it's quite nice. If I look through the plastic, I haven't opened them. Zimmer looks quite nice. You can damage it up a bit. And we start again on the rear engine cover with the breather and the ventilation part for the 5 holes to go onto. We've got variants A and B there, so something to look into as we go on along. And then the side skirts, which you can obviously PE, but there again I probably won't put them on. Well, I probably will actually, but I'll be damaging them and things like that, as I normally do, and the front fenders as well. And then we have the front Gresh's plate with the machine gun and the headlights, and the machine gun obviously telling you where it goes through the rear onto the front. So it's typical instructions. So there's nothing too overtaxing. We've got the more at the 5 holes and the engine grills again, and then the shrouds, the PE shrouds for the exhausts to bend and damage again, depending if you want it bent and damaged. I have slight damage on mine. Now we're putting on the rear panel again. We have the exhausts, the guards for the exhausts, the rear mud guards, the bits and pieces, and then we show you how to bend. Bend them around. What I'll do is the plastic's in there, so I'll just bend them around the plastic. The plastic ones, presumably there's plastic ones in there. If not, I'll just get one of the Tiger kit that I've got and bend them. And then it shows you an overhead view of what you're supposed to be doing with the cables, the Pioneer tools, the fire extinguisher, the pipe work for the 5 holes. So it's quite nice to give you that overhead view of what it should be, where the position of the item should be, and it gives you the option of the alternative I was saying about having the engine cover open as well, so that's something to look into. I'll see. And these are the smoke grenade launchers. I think they're positioned. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of them on there. Yeah. So sorry, there 3 of them. 1, 2, 3 there of them on there. And I thought they were part of the exhaust. That's the fire extinguisher. 2 on this kit. That's what it's saying, is it? It looks like it is. Right, so let's go to the next part. So that's basically the lower hull finished, I would have thought. Well, there's different variants. Variants C and D, so we have slightly different variants of it, which is good. So I have to make sure we get the correct one. And then we start the turret at the bottom. Just play, and then we wrap the Zimmer around it. A and B versions only. You cut a hole in it somewhere for, I think it's for one of the I don't know what that would be for. I'll have to look into that again. Yes, we wrap the Zimmer around the turret, and then we start a little bit of internal stuff on the turret at the top there. You can see that. Closer. A little bit of interior, nothing much, just a driver's seat, and I don't know what that is really. Not really sure. Bit of interior again. We have a bit of the interior for the gun, and then we have the gun on the outside. There's a couple of things you have to cut off or pierce or make a hole. nothing overtaxing. And then on the other side of the hatch as well, is we have the other side, we have a few bits and pieces again. So there's a little bit of interior, which is quite nice. Spare for 23 quid. Was it 23 or 20? I know it was very low price. That's one of the reasons I picked it up. And then we start on the out of the turret, the bin at the back, and we have the parts there for the spare tracks, the MG on the ring on the commander's cupola, commander's cupola on the top, the hatch, gunner's hatch, and there again some more spare track again. Come on. Useless. Yeah. Yep, that means one of the cats has just appeared. And then we're on to the, so that must be the end of it, so then we're on to the painting. We have the version here, which is the Panzerhaut 505 Russia Winter 1943-44, which I probably will do that one, I'm not 100% sure. And then we have version B, which is the Russian Winter 1943-44 again, with the tricolour. Dunkelgelb and flat white on the first one, and we have Dunkelgelb, can't even pronounce that, and I can't even pronounce that either, so it's just basically brown, the green, so the brown green and the Dunkelgelb. I'll have to check which the variants as well. We'll see, check that when we get to the build. Oh, we have some more here. We have version C. These what they are, yeah, C and D. We have Anzio Italy 1944, which is a tricolour again, I presume. Yep. And then we have the Anzio again, 508 out, Panzer out 508, Anzio Italy 1944. So we have 4 variants we can build. So I have to keep an eye on what variant I'm going to build. And we have a cat in here now. Which one is it? Can't see him. So you can see the box is quite full of plastic. So we have the PE, which I was quite surprised. For a kit of £23 you get 4 to etch fenders, 4 to etch shrouds and the grille covers, and some little, I don't know what they are, straps, or we'll find out as we go along. And it looks quite nice, the 4 to etch as well, not too thick, so it's quite a little bonus in there. So let's pop that down into this box lid, and we have the decals, Italeri decals, a bit shiny, but the carrier film is cut really quite close to the decals. I'll do probably a mixture of the decals and the numbers. I'll probably do with a stencil. See how we get going, see how I do first. I've got a couple of stencils which I'll probably be able to knock them up. So I might not use them. There again I might. So I'm just move this box over here, out of the way for now. And we'll start off with the first bag of plastic. Right, so the first plastic is part of the running gear and the tracks. And this is one of the things I'm going to try and do. I'm not a river counter, I'm far from being a river counter. So I may not even do it yet, depending if I can. So we have 2 screws identical in here. Yep. Oh, 3 sprues, but 2 are identical and 1's not. So we have the wheels. It's quite nicely plain, early type wheels by looking at them. That's the inside, obviously. Yeah. Still nicely detailed. Maybe slightly soft, but not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. No flash at the moment. I can't see any injection marks apart from the rear where you're not going to see them. So the tracks, let's have a look at the tracks. So they're nicely moulded actually, they're not bad at all. The actual outside is quite nice. And the individual tracks to wrap around the sprocket and the return idler. Quite nice. This is where the problems start. The solid guide horns. I don't know if I've got the skill to drill them out with a small Dremel that I've got. I can give it a go and find out. It's probably easier on the long tracks, but I'll have to put the little ones in a vise and try and do. I'll have a go and see if I can. If not, I'll just have to think of something else. But generally speaking, the detail, there's a couple of raised sink marks in the tracks themselves. There's one. Yeah, they're on most of them actually when you're looking down them, but there isn't, so hopefully I can get them out. If it's too much of a pain in the bum, I won't do them. But that's the only downside to the kit that I've seen, you know, what I've read about. But we'll see. We'll see how we get on. Part of the fivels and the shovel and that's the exhaust. And the pipework is quite nice. There's a lot of nice texture on the pipework. It does look what it's supposed to be, like a bendy, I don't know what you call it, but the texture on there is really quite nice. I think I would even go to say it's probably better than some of the Dragon kits I've got for them pipes. Quite nice indeed. Shovel's nice, I say there's no flash. Apart from on the edge of the sprue there, which is either here, doesn't really bother us. They're nicely moulded. Yeah, nicely moulded. And then we have a big bag. Hopefully the little bag's inside it, not too sure. Let's see if we've got the same problem as there with the mini art one, with the bag being just full of plastic. We'll see. It looks like they're all in one bag. And there again, we can't have everything, can we? Put that in there to start with. Look at this first sprue that was in the bag. That's the reverse. Obviously, you've got the, you know, where you can get all the injection marks. Not really bothered where all them are. The hatch covers are quite nice. There's a couple of little sink marks inside the hatch covers if you want them up, so that reason, so I should be able to take them out quite easily. And that's nice again for the rear of the turret, or the side of the turret. We've got a nice Zimmerit hatch, nicely done. There's a bit of damage to Zimmerit, I would have thought, quite easily. But we'll see as we're getting along. So I'll turn it over, and you can see what I mean about all the Zimmerit. It's quite nicely done. You know, it's not too in your face, if you call it. It's just, I think that's probably about spot on. I know it's a bit uniform, but yeah, no, it's not that uniform really. You've got some indentation, slightly different variations in there. But I would say that's quite good. Very good, the depth of it and everything. So that's the rear, which is really nice, and the part of the front grey up there. There's the glacis plate on the front with the machine gun mount and the driver's hatch. And then we have that part that wraps around the turret, so it's quite thin. So obviously take our time when we do that. And then we have the side response, which is nicely detailed again. You should be able to just make a few marks. What I'll probably do is spray them the oxidized red first. Or should I chip what I want first, spray it red? Yeah. I'll probably chip out what I want to chip out, maybe with a knife or a chisel or something, like just a bit of damage, and then paint them oxidized red, I think. But there again, really nicely detailed. And the gun mantlet, there again, it's spot on. It really does look nice. Front mud guards or rear mud guards, and there we are. So I can actually bend them round the plastic shrouds for the exhausts. So they won't be used, those go into the spares, but quite impressed with that. Yeah, for 23 quid with full Zimmerit, can't argue with that. Say, I don't know how accurate it is, but it looks like a tiger to me, and that's all that bothers. I don't care what anybody else thinks or what anyone wants to do or complain or whinge or moan. I'll just tell you now, I'm not interested. So we're starting off the gun breech on the inside. Another part is unfortunate, it's a two-piece barrel, but there again, it's not a big job, is it, to take your time and get the seam line out. Probably one of the things I do when I first build a kit is I actually build the get the turret and leave it to dry, and then sand it, and then see how we go. And then we're part of the gun there again, which is nice. Commander's cupola, and there's the for the other variant with no Zimmerit, the gun mount. A few small hatches. The MG for the inside. It's not slide molded, and I think it's virtually, probably what I might do is cut the end off, and I've got some small pipe, brass pipe, that I could use to see it's got a hole in the front, so look a bit more authentic, or real I should say. Pioneer tools there as well, which is nice. The axe and the big hammer. The 5/0 boxes are quite nicely detailed. So there's no sink marks really, apart from the hatch cover that I said on before, but there's a few on the inside of there if you want to put the interior in, but they're not going to be too bad. You can either the risen, it's hard to tell. No, they're slightly sunk, so a bit of, you know, fillet or putty in there. Shouldn't be no problem, and sand it out. There again, some of them might be covered with the interior, it goes inside the turret. We'll have to wait and see. So yeah, generally speaking, I'm over the moon for 20-30 quid. And then we have a large sprue at the end, which we have the main hull, which is nice again. Not much detail on it, but there again there isn't any. That's quite nice. That's quite nicely detailed along there. And now we have the engine there, which I could probably do something with. If you I've got to download an image off Google of the engine of the Tiger and see what I can add to it, or make it a bit realistic if I possibly can. And then we could have the hatch cover open, and then we have the rear mud guards there. Then we have the engine hatch, and then we have the sprockets and the return row and the return wheel, nicely detailed again. We can get into that. That's on the inside. We'll go to the outside in a second. On them, they're nicely detailed. The covers for the exhausts. That's detailed. That's got it. Let me just. Yeah, that's nicely detailed. Where have I lost it? I've lost it again now. Oh, there there's a slight texture like there's on the like a rough cast texture on there. You see what I mean? On that part there. Same with the shrouds as well. Sorry, the covers for the exhaust, which I'll be hidden anyhow unless I decide to leave a shroud off. But I can't complain. That's the rear, too big to get in shot. And then we have the box at the back of the turret, and then we have the tow ropes, which I have to say are not badly detailed at all. And there's not many connection points like really as there usually is. Hopefully some of them are nice because they're actually connected onto the parts that were fastened to the tank, so that shouldn't be too bad to get out. And then we have the top of the box at the back, and again some more interior parts I think there will be. Yeah, these are the interior parts. Suspension arms there. We'll turn it over in a minute and have a look on the other side. And that there, the big block at the back, that's the engine bay where you drop the engine into, so I'll have a good look at that. And on the inside, there's the outside, we have the suspension arms again, I was saying that, and the sprocket is quite nicely detailed again. I don't know how accurate, but it's a sprocket to me and it'll go on the Tiger. So it looks a fairly simple build. There's that big bar again. I'm not sure what these parts are. Part of the breech. I'm not too sure. Probably point me in the right direction. Probably. Oh no, it's the exhaust, because there's the exhaust tops. And John, well, there's the actually pins are actually in this one. So there'll be no nightmares of putting them in and getting them straight. Sometimes happens in Dragon kits and other kits, but this one seems to be already done. But generally speaking, you know, I can't argue with the price. That's 23 quid for a full zoom and a nice bit of photo etch. We'll see how it builds up, you know. That could be a build as well after the new year. I've got too many kits. This is the problem. I keep buying kits and I never build them, but I do slowly. But I will get there, I promise. I'll get there. It's just a matter of me getting my finger out, really. So I'd just like to say thank you very much again for viewing this, and thank you to all my subscribers, new and old. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will catch you very soon with the last unboxing of the day for today, I think, and then we'll concentrate on a bit of work. This is Greg signing off, and we'll catch you very soon.